Now then, we have something of a bit of an oddity with us, Cameron. We have a bottle of Inishtree. This is a Speyside single malt Scotch whisky, 25 years old. What the hell is going on? This one is actually a single malt from Imperial distillery, which was bottled for the Park Row restaurant in London, which is Batman themed.
Indeed,
Batman.
I've heard of this place.
Yeah, it's super, super cool. Loads of really, if you're a DC fan and you like all these kind of niche references, the Batman stuff, it's like Mecca, it's heaven.
A little bit like going into his lair, his underground.
Yeah, it's a really cool
spot.
experience. I've had friends that have been and we said it's a total like immersive experience and yeah, just super, super cool. Obviously we are whiskey people, we're not necessarily Batman people. So today we'll be focusing more about the whiskey, which, as I say, was distilled at the Imperial distillery. Is this a distillery which you know much about? Have you tried it before?
Yeah, I've been very fortunate to try quite a few Imperials actually, and a distillery that was opened at the tail end of the 19th century, and then sadly closed around about 1998.
Yes.
It was plagued by a few fires in its time, as a lot of distilleries were. You know, alcohol, it's a very explosive substance, but yeah, that was ultimately, I think, what forced Imperial to close.
Sure.
So we've now got the Dalmunic distillery on the same site. So that's Chivas brothers, Pernod Ricards, all singing, all dancing, ultra distillery.
Yeah.
But the old sort of warehousing and stuff is still down in the valley. It's still down in Cameron, where the Imperial distillery was.
Did it have a sort of distinctive character, or was it just sort of typically Speyside, very sort of sweet and gentle?
It is typically Speyside, but it also does have a very distinctive character. For me, it's a super juicy, super fruity whiskey. If you think about it, the sort of modern day equivalents of Glen Grant and things like that, it's got that overripe apple, pear sort of.
Is that all to do with the kind of quality of the distillate, or is it the cask that they use, or just the...
For me, it's the distillate for sure. Yeah, the Imperial was never... It wasn't ever really a brand.
No.
You know, it was one of these whiskies that Pernod or Chivas were producing to put into their blend.
Chivas, Chivas
so it was
Regal.
meant to be this light, elegant sort of top dresser almost that went into their Chivas 12, Chivas 18, Royal Salute, those sort of brands. Super
Which
fruity.
are lovely.
Delicious.
Anyone who's not had Royal Salute 21 in the, stupid ceramic flagons, great.
Yeah.
Really good. Loads and loads of flavour to it. And I think, blends are all about, consistency, but also quality as well. And I've always sort of got the impression with Imperial, they never make bad whiskey. There was never a bad batch. Obviously, you can change it and experiment with, longer aging and different cask types, whatever. But fundamentally, if you start with a good spirit and you don't do crazy things with casks, chances are you're going to produce something great.
Yeah, definitely. All the Imperials I've tasted, they have been from one cask type, so they've never been finished, so to speak. That the spirit has been given the license to just do its work.
Allowed to shine through, not covered in sherry or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Well, this should be a very interesting one to try. As I say,
excited.
It's 25 years old. This is a super limited release of only 148 bottles, which suggests it's maybe perhaps a split cask or maybe a cask that's had lots lost to the angels, potentially. Who knows? But 25 years old. And bottled at 53.2% by Specialty Drinks / Elixir Distillers / the Whisky Exchange, however that all works. It also comes with a very exciting letter with a wax seal on it, which is fun. So we'll give this a little opening. I feel this is great. I feel like I'm presenting the Oscars or something. This is very exciting.
It looks like a good envelope, that actually.
It's a good quality weighted paper as well, actually. It ticks all the boxes. The letter starts, "Dear Gothamite," so I love it already. And it's got all details all about the whiskey, all about the distillery, obviously the history of Imperial as well. 148 bottles, as we say, so it's super, super limited. And signed by Margaret, PA, to Bruce Wayne.
Wow.
So
At Wayne Enterprise.
at Wayne Enterprises. So this is a real, I mean, to be honest, the letter's almost more exciting than the whiskey, I would say. So it's a real...
Let's hope not.
Let's hope not. I mean, it's a real experience similar to the restaurant. It's all about immersing yourself in the DC universe and Batman and Gotham City and stuff. So it's really, really exciting. And let's immerse ourselves in the Imperial experience and see what the whiskey's all about.
Let's do it.
It's got a nice quality wax capsule, which just reeks of quality. Let's see, this is quite nice actually. Opens quite neatly. Perfect. Dispose of that. Yeah, let's give this a try. Right, now then, Cameron, what do we think? So we know it's 25 years old, we know it's Imperial, we know it's been bottled from a refill bourbon cask. Is this the sort of colour that you'd expect for such a whiskey?
It's exactly the colour you'd expect. It's got that beautiful sort of golden hue. It's not too dark. It's still got that beautiful sort of elegance to it. Pale straw, some would say. And I hope you agree, but as soon as you got that cork off the bottle, the whole room just filled with like that beautiful sort of fresh apple, fresh pear kind of.
It's such a clean nose, isn't it? Yeah, sometimes you have a whiskey and it's like the nose is just the real, you know, it's like an assault. It's just very, you know, smoky or sherry or something very obvious. This is, super clean, kind of sweet, but not in a sort of artificial, like cloying sweetness way. It's just really, really pleasant.
Yeah. Powerful but subtle at the same time, I would say.
Yeah, I guess easy on the nose. I wouldn't guess this was 53%. There's none of that kind of prickle coming through. Obviously, you wouldn't expect it to be spirity after having had quarter of a century in cask. But it's, colour, nose, all bodes well. So we'll give it a taste and see what we think.
Cheers.
That's such a lovely, like, elegant dram, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean this reminds me of, you know, summer in Speyside almost. It's got that beautiful softness. It's got that beautiful sort of elegance, the sweetness.
Yeah.
But it's by no means a whiskey that will fade into the ether either. It's got that presence about it that, it's a beautiful dram. Really beautiful.
This one, as we say, is from a refill bourbon cask. So this is a cask which has been used before for whiskey. So I always use the analogy of tea bags for casks. You know, if you use it first time, you get all the flavour. To use it again, you get the same flavour. It's just to kind of dial down a little bit. And I think with it having had such a long maturation, do you feel the refill cask was a wise move?
I think it's perfect. Yeah, the 25 years, the quarter of a century it's spent in a cask. It's if you put that into a first fill cask, it would be overpowered. It would be that sort of out of kilter whiskey that nobody is wanting. You know, whereas putting it into a refill cask and leaving it for those 25 years, it lets the whiskey just do its thing. Yeah, it's in no rush.
Yeah, I think the bourbon influence, all these, you know, obviously vanilla flavors, honey flavors are lovely, but I think I imagine if the plan was to leave this for 25 years. You do want the spirit to shine through. As you say, Imperial is popular among real sort of whiskey geeks for having such a fantastic distillate.
Definitely.
And it'd be a shame to lose that with a over-dominant cask. But yeah, I think refill bourbon in this case is stunning. Do you feel it's a good strength?
It's great strength, yeah. It's got like enough to hold the whiskey together as well. This is a whiskey that if you dialed it down to 40 or 43%, it might become a bit lost and it might just fade into being another bourbon cask matured whiskey.
Yeah.
Allowing it that opportunity to shine at that slightly higher percentage, it really does the whiskey justice. It's got, like I say, all the beautiful apples, pears. You go in a little bit later, it's got a beautiful sort of menthol note, eucalyptus almost.
Yeah,
It's reminiscent of good bourbon cask maturation for a prolonged period of time.
Yeah, it's a beautiful drop, actually. It's one, I find when you start like properly getting into whiskey, you almost start looking for extremes. So, you turn to Glendronach for the sherry influence, or Octomore because you like peat. And often it's easy to become fixated on those extremes.
Yeah.
And often it's lovely to come back to a whiskey like this, which doesn't shout from the rooftops. It's very understated, but the quality really shines through.
Yeah.
I think you'd struggle to maybe pinpoint exactly what it tastes like. Imagine like on a flavour map, you'd probably put it kind of in the middle somewhere. Yeah. But it's lovely. It's balanced. It's what all whiskey should aspire to be. It's tasty and it makes you want to drink more of it.
Balance is the word I would use for sure. It's got that lovely strength, but it's got the subtle flavours as well to really carry that strength. This for me is what is beautiful amongst whiskey. Whiskies like this bring a genuine smile to my face.
I always think if somebody says, what does good whiskey taste like? You wouldn't give them Ardbeg, you wouldn't give them Macallan 18. You'd probably say, this is what a good whiskey tastes like. It's really, really stunning. And I think it's nice in a way because a bottle like this, the way it's presented, obviously the collaboration with the Park Row Batman restaurant thing, they could have used anything. Mm-hmm. But the fact that they've gone to the lengths of finding, quite an obscure distillery, choosing a whiskey which has been matured for such a long time and is of such a good standard is great. Because I think often you can dismiss kind of novelty, limited edition things as just collector's items.
Yes, collaborations often rely on, one part of the partnership to sell the other. This is harmony. This is an amazing restaurant selling an amazing whiskey and putting those two components together for this partnership. It's really well done. It's really clever. And it's really tasty as well.
It's great. I think, whether you love Batman or hate Batman, you're going to love this whiskey. It is beautiful. Absolutely. So cheers.
Cheers.